The other day, my granddaughter brought home a little plastic volcano from school. She put some sodium bicarbonate in it and then added the liquid, and off goes the volcano with the eruption flowing down the sides. It was really, really cute watching her, and she got all excited. But that reminded me of what's probably the most significant, well-documented geological event in my lifetime, and that was at Mount St. Helens when it erupted in 1980. There were geologists from around the world waiting for this to happen because for months ahead of time there had been smaller eruptions to give warning that it was about to blow. Now, what's significant about this event is that it gives us a little picture into the type of processes that were happening during the global worldwide flood of Noah's time. You see, there is evidence for volcanism in Earth's past that was worldwide in nature. So what happened at Mount St. Helens is just like a tiny little drop in a swimming pool of what was happening all over the Earth during the flood of Noah as the fountains of the great deep broke forth. And I believe much of that had to have been lava and massive land movements going on. First of all, the top third of the mountain just slid down into the valley. A massive sedimentary mud flow. It slammed into Spirit Lake, shoving the water out of that lake, ripped out 1 million enormous trees, eroded erosional ruts into solid basalt almost instantaneously, and flushed all those dead trees and sediments back down into the lake. Meanwhile, the other half of the mountains flowed down into the valley, laying down a new sediment layer that rapidly turned back into rock about 600 feet deep in areas. Now, there were subsequent erosions, and it literally carved a new river valley down in through that sediment. At an estimated 100 miles an hour or more, the top of the mountain flowing down into the valley laid down perfectly flat, uniform layers of sediment. And even down in tiny little paper-thin areas called varves, you could see flat layers running up and down this new river valley that had formed in a matter of hours, not over millions of years. Geologists are trained when they say little thin varves. Each one might represent a year. If there's 100,000 of them, it's 100,000 years of Earth history. But it's not. Flood flow energetic events can cause massive geological change in absolutely incredibly short time frames. The trees that were knocked down in Spirit Lake floated and often dropped at different levels throughout the lake as sediment continued to degrade and the trees bumped together and layers formed at the bottom of this new lake bed. So now you have trees standing upright at different layers. Well, in Yellowstone National Park for almost 100 years and in geology textbooks, there was a sign that showed petrified trees turned to solid rock at different layers. It was interpreted as 32 forests, each taking thousands of years to grow, form, and be destroyed, and then another forest forming, and therefore this area of the Earth represented 100,000 years of Earth history. At Mount St. Helens, that same formation of trees sinking, standing vertically at different layers in the sediment formed in a matter of years. So Mount St. Helens showed us that rapid geological change over enormous regions is absolutely the result of a world-covering flood, not these slow, gradual processes that are taught throughout the educational world.